Hey, it's Bevan James Eyles here with Fitness Thoughts. I want to share a funny story with you from when I was a young man. When I was a young man, I was going through a period where I was trying to achieve some pretty big goals. I had some fitness goals, some career goals, and some academic goals that I was trying to achieve. And while I was in this time, I kind of had a sense that I was kind of not succeeding. I was kind of failing because I just didn't have enough time to put the energy into the things I was trying to achieve. One night I woke up at 3 in the morning and I realised, I had kind of an epiphany that I realised that my TV watching habit was working against me. So I got up in the middle of the night and kind of in this epiphany slash frustration slash weirdness, I went and got the scissors and I went around the house and I chopped the power cord of every TV in my house. Now the first thing I must say, luckily my partner at the time was pretty understanding and didn't care for TV, because imagine waking up in the morning with all the TV cords chopped. Can't have been kind of a good experience to have. Now, once I'd kind of chopped the cords, I had a really interesting kind of insight that came from this, that I had wasted a lot of my time watching TV. That really I was spending 3 hours of my day watching TV, and that was one of the main reasons I wasn't necessarily achieving the goals that I was trying to achieve in those areas. And once I'd removed TV from my life, I realised actually I had a lot of time in my day to achieve what I wanted to achieve. For the next 7 years, I went without TV, no TV in my life at all. And then I broke up with my ex and I met my current fiance, Joe, and we were having a great relationship, and it seemed pretty clear that we were going to be moving in together pretty soon. And Joe had a TV. Now, I wasn't concerned about this. I knew that, I was the person who's going to introduce a TV back into my life, but I was curious to see what kind of habits and behaviours I would have around my TV watching once I brought it back into my life. Well, luckily for me, Joe had some really good habits, and it made me realise there's some real value in me having some TV time into my life. And what was that value? Well, it is a nice way to relax. If I look at Joe and my's TV watching habits, we tend to watch anywhere from 30 minutes, maybe to an hour and a half a night watching TV. We'll watch some news, maybe 20 minutes of the news, and then we'll watch some show we like. It might be Game of Thrones or House of Cards or something like that. So it made me realise there was value in watching TV. It was an entertaining thing. It was a nice way to relax and unwind at the end of the day. The big difference between me from when I was younger and me now watching TV was I had no understanding of when the crossover time was where TV went from a valuable thing to something that created dissatisfaction in my life. Nowadays when I watch TV, it's a valuable part of my day. It's an entertainment, it's an unwind. And I know that after anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes, that's enough. And once that time's done, I get up and Joe and I will go on to do something else, or we'll go to bed. But when I was younger, I'd sit down with the intentions of watching TV for maybe an hour, but I'd sit in front of the TV for 3 hours. And that's what I want to kind of address today. Are these things in your life that to a certain point add value to your life, but then there's a crossover where they lead into something that feels dissatisfying? Another great example of this is the internet. Most of us have a Facebook habit, let's not deny it. And Facebook is something that adds value to our life to a point. And if you're spending 15 to 20, maybe 30 minutes a day just kind of checking in Facebook here or there, it's maybe not a bad thing. But if you're spending 3 hours in your day on Facebook, is that leading to a place where you ultimately feel dissatisfied in yourself? Now that's what we want to learn with these things, and I'm going to call this the crossover point. These areas of my life where there is value in them, but where the crossover can lead to me feeling dissatisfied in myself. As you hear me talk about this, what are those areas for you? What are those areas where, if I do enough of it, it's really valuable, but if it crosses over to the other side, it becomes quite dissatisfying for me? If you can identify what those are, you can start to put some strategies in place that allow you to learn that crossover point and stay within the valued time. So for example, let's say it's a TV watching habit that, like me when I was younger, you can end up watching TV for 3 to 4 hours a night, and kind of that feels like you're just wasting your life. So what you could do is you could decide, when you sit down, I'm going to set the alarm on my phone to go off, and maybe 60 minutes or 90 minutes from now, and when the alarm goes off, I'm going to get up, go to bed, or go do something else with my time. You can see by using a strategy like that, I'm going to be able to learn how to stay in a place where I feel more value from the thing I'm doing, and it won't cross over. Maybe it's your internet use. Another good strategy to have is just some boundaries around these things. Like for example, I will not use my internet when I'm in bed, Or up to a certain time once I go to bed, I'm not going to go on the internet. I'm not allowed to check my phone during the night. These kind of rules are really, really great. Now, what's the value in doing this stuff? Well, I think there's two kind of real key values. First of all, you're allowed to enjoy the time and the thing you're doing. So when I sit down at night and watch TV, there's no guilt. I'm allowed to enjoy it, I can be entertained, and I can just embrace that this is the moment in my day where I'm allowed to relax. If I do it for 3 hours, I'm going to feel guilty. But if I have those boundaries, I can just enjoy it. And then secondly, if I set good boundaries around this, then I remove that guilt, and that other time that I've gained back, I can use in ways that add value to my life. Have a think about yourself. If you do kind of identify with what I'm talking about right now, what are the strategies that you're going to implement in your life to make sure that those activities that can cross over to the dissatisfying place just stay in the valuable place? If you can do this, do you think you'd be more focused, more satisfied, and have a better steam about the way you're living your life? I kind of feel you would. So give it a try. Let me know how you go. Righto team, that's the latest episode of Fitness Thoughts with Bevan James Eyles. If you want to check out any of my work, you can go to bevanjameseyles.com. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe to this channel somewhere by pushing a button, push subscribe somewhere on the screen. On Facebook, feel free to share, or on Twitter or anything like that. If you want to check out any of my other work, I also have the Fitness Behavior Podcast. You can check out my book, The Fitness Attitude, that's on the Amazon Kindle store, or if you're in New Zealand, go to bevanjameseyles.com. And you can get it shipped to you as a paper book version. I'm losing my voice today, as you can tell, so hopefully my voice is back in a couple of weeks' time when I've got the next episode. But other than that, you guys keep up the good work, and I'll see you guys real soon.